Hi guys, and welcome to another DayZ video. So back when I first got my server, for around 2 weeks I was the only person on it, and that was for me to do some extensive testing on my own. There were certain things I just had to find out, almost within the science of how the game is made and the engine, and it's impossible to do that on servers with other people, so I rented a server just to do some testing. It turns out that a lot of my friends decided they also wanted to come on a sort of a community server. So I decided to keep my server, and it's up and running now, as most of you guys know. Now, I set up these 2 camping tents that I almost found immediately at the Northwest Airfield after looting for some time. And since I set this camp up, I've recently had to turn off persistence within the server. This is because the loot tables are currently broken, and loot spawns in everywhere and never goes away, and it creates a backlog of RAM. But what I wanted to do, guys, I forgot that I had actually recorded this footage of my camp, and for anyone who plays on the server, or for even people that play on other persistent servers, I just wanted to kind of show you what you can gather if you do find a decent hiding place within the woods and you do have a couple of camping tents, the kind of things you can put to one side. Now, as I've said, at the time I was the only person on my server, and I do realise it is much easier to find this much end game loot while you're the only person on a server. But I think given enough time and with enough practice, you know, and if you had a decent enough group with enough people all looting the right areas, more than one person on a high population server could get things like this. So I'm just going to show it off, guys, of what I managed to do within a couple of weeks on my own. So here there's some rucksacks outside of my camping tent, and these rucksacks contain just overspill, things that I can no longer fit in the tent. So for instance, this orange bag is my camp bag, so it contains everything you need for cooking meat. There's a sawn off shotgun in there as like the camp gun, if you will, my original flashlight. As most people know, the only way to get a flashlight is to keep the one you spawn with, as they don't spawn in the game. I've got a lot of books in there, things for lighting fires and cooking. This one contains a lot of tools that I found, like fishing rods, spare axes, things like that, spare balaclavas, just tools for using around the camp. And this bag is pretty much an ammunition overspill bag. Now, around the back of my tent, weapons are persistent also. So, you know, I've got a couple of shotguns, my hunting crossbow especially. There's a repeater back there. It's just some spare guns and stuff. Now, as I say, on a persistent server, once persistence is working again on my server, other people will be able to make camps of a similar nature. Now, underneath this tree, I currently have my food bag. So I'm containing, you know, peaches, rice, and a lot of meat that I keep back at camp. And this first tent, so let's take a look, guys. This tent is for anyone who comes to my camp once I opened it up. As I say, none of this is here anymore, guys. But I had to turn persistence off, which wipes the server. But on my own collecting, you know, I've got an AKM, an AK-101, some suppressors, lots of things I found. If you do want to get a closer look at what was in that tent, just go back and pause the video, guys, and you'll get the option to do that. Now, I also built my camp fairly close to Zelenogorsk, and that was so that, as most people know, 16 or 18 trucks spawn, so I can always get a truck when I spawn in. This tent contains my ghillie suit, my Mosin with long range, and yes, another spare long range and stuff, so just sort of showing off my ghillie. This is the ghillie suit I made in my tutorial of how to craft ghillie. If you haven't seen that, I have actually put out a tutorial of the very basics of how to craft a ghillie. I've since learned that you can create a full ghillie suit, which includes trousers or pants that are incorporated into the ghillie suit with the help of Nick Provs. So yeah, this is basically it, guys. I've got my black I have my black jacket here, which contains, you know, ammo, my rangefinder and things ready to go. Just need to get a battery for that rangefinder, and that's, you know, that stuff's in the tent because I'm not really a sniper, as most of you guys know. Now, this isn't hacks or anything. A lot of people are going to say, like, oh, it's easy when you're the only person on a private server, and that isn't the right way to play DayZ. But as I explained at the beginning of the video, guys, this is just for me to work out some things within persistence. As I'm running my own community server now, there's going to be a lot of people coming on. Some guys, don't get me wrong, there are some guys on the server that know a hell of a lot more about DayZ than I do. But at the time, I just needed to find this information out for myself, and the safest and easiest way for me to do that was to you know, rent my own server and just sort of test around and mess around with it, really, guys. As I say, I forgot I had this footage, and I just wanted to show it off as an idea to people within my server or other persistent servers, as sort of what you should do for setting up a camp. Get yourself a couple of tents, hide them up in the woods like this. You know, this isn't deep enough into the forest, but as I say, I was the only one on. As always, I'm repeating myself a little here, guys, but this bag in particular, the orange bag, I'm so happy with that bag. That is basically a survivalist's bag. It's completely dry bag with matches and everything you need to cook meat, start fires, cut down bushes and everything like that. I mean, there's no axe in there for chopping down trees, but as you guys know now, you don't really need logs. You can just put sticks in a fire. Right, I think that's about it for the camp video, guys. Just wanted to show it off. All that's left to say is thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.